Good morning and welcome to today's IGTV. Do you have a college student who's home for summer that you are so looking forward to connecting to and it's already starting to drive you crazy because they're not being the way you want them to be and they're not respecting your house rules and they don't want to spend time with you and you're heartbroken and you're in your room and whoa! All right. Let's dive into this one because it is so common. And I'm just going to say for right now, I am going to be in these shoes at Christmas time. Whee! So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me. My name is Allie Payne. I'm a certified life coach, certified relationship systems coach, and I've been working with parents and teens for the last 14 years to help end the painful disconnection, emotional blow-ups, and stressful silences to build relationships based on trust and respect. Today, I want to talk to you about when your college student, university student, comes home for summer and you were really looking forward to a summer of connection and, catching up. Like this is your baby and you get to have them back in your house and you're so excited. And then reality hits. And it's not that fun anymore. Like at all. Yeah. It's not that fun anymore. And so your college student, here's the thing, and literally you guys, I am talking through my own going to be lived experience come this fall, okay? This is gonna be me. I am gonna be crying to you guys. I don't know if you went away for school. Not everybody went away for school, okay? I did. I went away for school. I split Dodge in a hot second when I was 18. And I went and I lived in residence in university. And, there's such a wonderful time of so rich with independence and, finding out you've always had to do it your parents' way because it was their house and you had to do it their way. And now your teen, it likely was your teenager, has moved away and they have taken some of what your way, some of the way that you do it, and some of how they want to do it. Like their own spin on things, their own flavor in the world, their own way of expressing their uniqueness and who they are. And you might not be loving that part right now, right? So when they're away, they've gotten to do things on their time frame. They might have had to learn how to do things within the structure of university or college, like the laundry room. I don't know about you guys, but when I was away for school, the laundry room, there was always this rule that you couldn't leave, don't leave your laundry in the washer because then someone would come along and they couldn't do their laundry. And if stuff was left there for more than half a day, we would just pick up the wet laundry and put it on the top of the washer. Too effing bad. You know what? I got laundry to do and this is the only day I don't have a ton of classes and I got to get my laundry done. So it's just you've learned to work within that. Shared kitchens, shared stoves, fridges. Maybe in the foods, maybe they haven't had, oh Lordy, help me, this is going to be at Christmas. Maybe your student has been on a meal plan. A lot of university and colleges have a meal plan. Maybe they've been on that meal plan for the last 4 months and they haven't had to help cook with a meal, prepare food, wash a single dish. Lordy, help me, because I tell ya, I'm already talking to my son about this at Christmas time. Anyway, so here you are, you've got this gorgeous being back in your house. You're hoping you're going to connect. It's going to be all, unicorns and rainbows and back to when they were 12 and come and hung in mama's bosom and woo, look at you, my baby. It's not like that at all. Not at all. So I got this request to do this IGTV from a viewer because she's going through this right now. And I thought, yeah, this is really prevalent. When they come home, can I just say right now, you need to have these discussions up front. Have these discussions right up front. Because pretending, that always goes well. Pretending that this time with your teen student at home is going to be like the good old days or back when they were your baby, it is a fantasy. It is not true. And it sets you up to feel heartbroken, resentful, frustrated, and really angry. And that's not really fair. It's not fair to your teen student. It's also not fair for them to come home to your home in the summer and expect that it will be this like hangout place for them and their buddies, or the place where they basically just lay their head on a pillow a few hours a night and spend the rest of the time out partying with friends, not ever saying like hello, good morning, like good, well, they're never up in the morning, who are we even kidding, good afternoon, like something like that. That's not fair either. So these are negotiated agreements, negotiated conversations that you have before they come home or very soon after they come home. So here's some of the things that I want you to manage first. First, manage your expectations. And that starts by admitting what they are. What are your expectations for your college student when they come home? Is your expectation that they are just going to want to spend all their time with you because they've missed you so much and they can't wait to sit and hang out with you for hours over a iced, iced drink? Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. So write out your expectations, because I honor your heart. I honor your heart. I honor and respect, and I see your deep love for your child. I see that. And that is good. And it is well, yes. So I see that and how important that is for you in your heart. Okay? Now I want you to be honest, though, about your expectations that you have of your teenager. Okay? Just write them down. It's a starting place. It's like when you go on any trip, you can have a map, you can have packed, but if you don't know where you're starting, how are you supposed to have the trip? So make sure that you have your expectations written down so they're clear. Then you can decide, and only you can decide, are these expectations realistic? How much of these expectations are important enough to me that I want to negotiate these with my teen student? And how many of these are wishes but maybe not realistic? How many of these could I maybe ask for with my teen? Like, look, I know you're going to be home and you're going to want to see your friends or blah blah blah. I have missed you, and I know you might not want to hang out with me a whole bunch, but I'd really like if maybe we could go for some iced drinks. Maybe I'll take you for lunch a couple times. Okay, so manage your expectations. Then I want you to talk to your teen college student, and I want you to talk to them and ask them openly, without judgment, what are their expectations of how this is gonna unroll? Like how's this gonna roll out here? Because it's not gonna be the party frat house. It's also not gonna be see, I did it already. I just said not. I'm already funding myself there. So manage their expectations, okay? What are their expectations? How do they see it rolling out? Now, automatically, you're probably going to see some differences, if not parting the Red Sea differences. You're going to see some differences there of expectations, okay? That's when you negotiate. This is when you negotiate boundaries. Now, your teenager may not be an adult yet, excuse me, but based on legal age where you are, maybe they're an adult. Okay? So what you're getting back from college is a very different person than who left. Gosh, this is emotional because I'm going to go through this in the fall. I remember leaving for university, and I remember finally, for me, it was a freedom because I was getting free of very, very toxic home situation. So that first time away from college is it is maturation and independence and freedom and blooming and blossoming like on steroids, okay? So the person that you are going to get back in your home for Christmas vacation or for summer is not the person who left. And that's one of the expectations I want you to manage. They're still your child, of course, but they could be like totally different. It could be like standing in front of someone being like, I don't even know if I know who you are. Like, who is this person? And if that is the case, then what I encourage you to do is get really curious about who that person is standing in front of you and get to know who they are becoming, rather than be resentful about who they are not, even though there may be a grieving process in there for you, okay, to let go of who this person is or who they're not. And that's normal, and I see your heart, and that's great, it's okay. But not to do it in front of them, like that's your process, okay? So you're talking about two versions of expectations, okay? So let's set boundaries now. Now, I'm going to give you some suggestions. These may not all work for you. They might not work for you at all, but they are going to be, they are going to be what we do, okay, in our home. So we have a rule in our home that after you graduate high school, if you're going to post-secondary school, if you're enrolled in post-secondary school, you don't pay rent during the school year, okay? But you do pay, you would pay rent over the summer. Like, so college students, let's just say your college student comes home like May 1st to, I'm gonna just say September 1st, okay? So May, June, July, August, that's 4 months, they're home. So our rule is that then you would be, we have an expectation that you will have some form of employment, hopefully full-time employment, because of the negotiation we have done with our son as far as financial contribution to his post-secondary education. What the amount that we are expecting him to pay for, we are asking him to pay for the food cost. We can cover the rest of it. That's not the same in every family. And so that is an expectation. If he's working full time over those 4 months, we probably wouldn't charge him rent because he's working full time toward helping contribute to his education. If he chooses not to, then there's going to be rent. So do you get this is where my boundary is. This is my, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Like, you can live here, and I will pay for your food, and we do not pay for any of our children's transportation costs, I'm going to say. So my oldest has a car that is 100% on him. And we have said, if you ever run out of money, the first thing you're going to go do is park that car at the street, because I'm not paying for one single penny of that insurance. I'm not paying for the gas. I'm not paying for nothing. That was your choice to buy the car. You are paying for the car. Our youngest doesn't have a car. It hasn't just been worth it for him to invest in a vehicle at this point. So when he drives my vehicle, your teen might come home and drive your vehicle. When he drives my vehicle, he is required to reimburse us for gas. We do it based on kilometers. We live in a very small community, so you can go pretty much to the other side of town almost on 5 kilometers. So you might be in miles, So we charge like 25 cents a kilometer or something like that, and they just tally it up at the end of the week, and then at the end of the month they transfer us, and we consider that gas and vehicle expense money. I'm not paying for that. That's on you. You see, if you are old enough you're going to get a full-time job, you're going away to university, welcome to adulting. Welcome to adulting, right? Okay, so the other thing is, so that is, we do have an expectation that our college student wouldn't be working over Christmas holiday. Christmas holiday is a little bit short, probably a little bit hard to get a job, but if they could get a few shifts, that would be awesome. But I don't really have that expectation. But over that 4 months of the summer, we do have an expectation and a clearly set out budget about what he will be contributing. Food. Let's talk about food. My teenager is going to a university where there is a meal plan, okay? And a meal plan means we pay a certain amount for the year, and he will have access to 24, or not 24/7, but he will have access 7 days a week to unlimited meals and food. So, oh boy, this is a child that we have raised to help with cooking, actually is responsible for cooking 1 to 2 meals a week, is responsible for dishwashing, like has to help in the house, be a contributing member of the household at will soon be legal age as an adult, is going to a college where he's not going to have to cook a single meal or wash a single dish. Oh my Lordy, help me come Christmas. Because let's face it, habits die. If I went somewhere like, I don't know, an all-inclusive where I got to just walk, sorry, just got an eyelash in my eye. Oh boy, I know, I am winking at you, but ow. Well, that was timely. If I go to an all-inclusive and I can go to a place where I can literally just go grab a plate and go and get whatever food I want, I can eat what I want, when I want, based on my class schedule, okay, and sports and etc. And I just take that dirty plate and cutlery and put it in the bin, and off I go. I don't have to help. Oh my. So we are already talking about this in our house. We are literally already talking about this so that it will be clear. When he goes away in September, we want him to enjoy that, like literally enjoy it, because let's face it, he's going to have being a student is not easy. He's going to have a full course load, 5 courses, and he's on the volleyball team. So he's going to have a very close. So I'm so grateful that he has that opportunity. And when you come home in December, because his exams will be finished, so he's not going to be studying, etc. The way it ran in the house when you left is the way it's going to run in the house when you're back at Christmas. You will be expected to help with meals. You will be expected to help wash dishes. That isn't going to change. Sorry, not sorry, my friend. Okay, so these are expectations that you can set up. Now, let's talk about, so your teen's coming home. So I want you to discuss, what does it look like for them to help around the house? What does it look like for mealtime? I'm hearing this as a really big one. Like, yeah, but they're sleeping, they're up all night. And I did a thing on sleep and everything last week, so I'm not going to get super into detail with that. But they're up all night gaming, so they don't have any meals with us. Like, they're literally just like this stranger ghost person at the end of the hall behind some door. Well, you know what? Negotiate that. You negotiate that. It's your house. I'm not saying be like super controlling and like anal. Like, you know what? They might even be of legal age now. They're an adult. It's still your house. Go get your parenting pants, tighten up that belt, come on back, and let's get this done. You set the ground rules. If they're gaming all night and that, like, they're not, how gamers have to constantly yell. I don't know why. Whereas like social media can be quieter, like are watching YouTube, right, all night long, and then they sleep all day. First of all, it's not healthy. They need to be asleep by 2 a.m., not going to bed at 2 a.m., asleep by 2 a.m. The brain releases critical hormones between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So the turning nocturnal, where they're up all night till 4 a.m. and getting up at 4 p.m., it doesn't matter how much sleep you get at that point. It's not helpful for the brain. So you need to set boundaries around what are you going to do about Wi-Fi? What if they, or which I said in that IGTV last week, that you can look up on my account, negotiate 1 or 2 nights a week where they can have a gaming night. Like, don't be all or nothing, okay? Don't be all or nothing. Negotiate. So they have a gaming night a couple nights a week, and then the Wi-Fi turns off a little earlier than that. Negotiate dinners. First of all, that they're helping with mealtime a couple nights a week, that they are still responsible for dishes a couple nights a week, and that maybe they don't want to be like I don't know what dinner time is in your house. In our house, dinner time is very sacred. It's because there's usually sports and everything else. So, I mean, gosh, there's some weeks where we might have dinner time like twice a week. With COVID, of course, that changed. We were having dinner time every single day. But dinner time is kind of sacred for us. But when your student comes home, They have probably friends where you live that they haven't seen in a while that they want to go and see. And so they maybe don't want to be home for dinner with you. Maybe because they're working full time or they have a job, they want to be independent and they want to go out for dinner with buddies, or go hang with their girls, or, whatever that is. So negotiate how many nights a week is reasonable for you and for them to be home for dinner, so that you can check in with them, so that you do get to experience connecting with them. And we also, I will just say, I've said this many times, that we have a no technology rule at the dinner table. Absolutely no technology. It is a connection time. The only exception is after we're finished eating, if somebody saw something really funny that day or really cool that they want to share, then you can go get your phone while we're still at the table, and then we do it that way. So having an expectation that your teen or student is going to come and sit at the table with you 7 nights a week because they're repining for you and they long to be with you it's probably not true. It's not true, okay? They are becoming an adult. So number 1, you need to treat them like one. Number 2, you got to take care of your heart and accept and embrace that you did a great job and they are becoming an adult, okay? And number 3, that they have a life outside of you now. They have a life outside of your insular family now that they want to spend time with. And I understand that that can be extremely hard and very painful. Okay, so we've talked about mealtime, cleaning the kitchen, maybe even grocery shopping. If they're independent enough, right? Like, if I've been really, really, really busy some days, I send my oldest, and actually my youngest will often go with them because they think it's hysterical to go grocery shopping together. They do team shopping. It's really funny. I can only imagine in the grocery store, they probably have the grocery cart in the middle of one aisle, and they're probably like playing like, okay, go long. That's what my boys are probably doing in the grocery store. Lord help them. Anyway, so you want to negotiate what else are they going to help around the house with? So mowing the lawn, right? If they're home, even if they're working full time, that doesn't mean, oh, but they're working full time, they shouldn't have to do. Hell no. You gotta remember, look at me. Your job is to raise the best roommate that you ever could. Your job is to raise the roommate that everybody else wants to live with. I don't care if they ever get a partner, they ever have kids, I don't care. But your job is to raise the best roommate you ever could. So when they're back in your house over summer, having had their own space, which is wonderful, being respectful of the space they are currently living in, rent-free or otherwise, and there's nothing wrong with charging them rent, a small amount of rent, go ahead, if that's what's right for you and your family. Okay? But these are things you have to negotiate ahead of time. You don't wait till they're home a week and then they get the job and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be paying us rent. Like, no, that's not fair. Okay? That's super not fair. You have to do that in advance. So helping around the house as a whole, remaining a contributing part of the home in which they are living. Because I don't care if it's your house or if it's your Aunt Jane's house where they're living for the summer. They better be expected to help out around the house with whatever that looks like. So like I said, mowing the lawn, meals, doing their own laundry. I'd like to think they did some laundry when they were away, maybe once or twice in 4 months. So, doing their own laundry. If there's laundry in the dryer and they need the dryer, don't just take all the laundry and like shove it in a bin and then leave it there. That's so disrespectful. Put it in the bin and bring it upstairs. Maybe even ask if you can fold it. And I know you're working full time and you want time to party with your friends and you don't want to be laden down with all these chores. That's nice. Welcome to adulting. Welcome to it. And once again, I am paying for your schooling, which I want you to have every opportunity. And I don't mean this out of guilt, because that doesn't work. I mean this out of respect for me. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you will understand that boundaries do not come from resentment, fear, anger, the need to control, revenge, retaliation. They come number 1 for respect for myself first, then also respect for you. I respect myself enough not to be your maid. I wasn't your maid before you left, and I'm sure, shoot, not going to be your maid now. So this is, and I respect you as a capable, intelligent, and successful young adult, or becoming adult, older teen. I don't know what you want to call them. Okay, they're in that weird middle space. Then you respect them too. Okay, so we've got helping around the house. I talked a little bit about vehicles. If they don't have a vehicle, then they've got to negotiate that with you, because assuming they're just going to be able to take the car when they want, no, that doesn't work. So we have a rule that you have to put your work shifts on the calendar in advance, because if you don't and I need the car, well, then don't expect that you're going to take my car to work, because I needed the car. If it's not up there, that we can't negotiate it. They reimbursing you for gas, for fuel costs, that when it comes, that maybe you charge them rent and maybe you don't. But if they're working full time, or at least working part time, welcome to the world of being an adult. So this doesn't mean that you are shelling out hundreds of dollars as well on top of that so that they can go party with their friends every night. No, you're raising an adult. I don't know about you, but when you want to like go out with your friends 4 nights a week, who gives you all the money for that? Okay, you need to treat them in a way that is going to set them up to be the best roommate they ever could, and a responsible, accountable adult. So shelling out hundreds of dollars for them to go out for dinner every night with their friends, to go party, buy booze, whatever it is, I don't care. No. And I am sincerely hoping that they do have a job. Okay? All right, so we've talked about mealtime. We've talked about help around the house. We've talked about use of the vehicle. We've talked about some finances. Again, it's about saying like, look, I just want to like sit and have tea. And we're going to connect all the time, and won't it be fun? They don't want to do that anymore. And they probably will have a lot of time with their friends because if they went away to college, maybe it's in a place where they haven't seen their friends in a long time. Maybe they get back into a sport they really like. Like for my son, it would be grass volleyball. That only happens in the summer. So that would be at a time when he's not away at university. So he's going to be out of the house at least one night a week, because he's going to be playing grass volleyball with his friends. When he comes home next April, he'll probably also want to get back into lacrosse. That's another night. These are all, now, would I pay for those sports? Yeah, I would consider paying for the entry fee for those sports, because I really encourage physical activity. Team sports, of course, so good with communication and collaboration. But I'm not going to get him there and back, and he might have to walk. He might have to get a ride if he can't have the car. Like, he's got to figure that stuff out, right? Ultimately, this comes down to expectation, which is how I started this conversation. If you have an expectation that your college student is going to come home and just nuzzle right in here and not want to leave for 4 months, and you're going to like be attached at the hip, or, you know, you're going to want to go to things together and do that, it's not true. And that's where a lot of this pain comes from. And then again, like I said, I also covered Wi-Fi and gaming already, because that's a big thing. Now let's cover family activities, and then I'm going to wrap. Because this is another thing I hear often is that, yeah, but my teenage student is home, but now they don't want to do anything with us as a family. Like, they don't want to come to Aunt Jane's for, you know, Sunday potato salad picnic. You know, they've always got plans with their friends, and it's like, we're like, what do we, like, chop liver? Like, thanks a lot. And that's very hurtful. It really is very hurtful. So again, this goes back to negotiating. Negotiate with your college student or university student to say, look, I know you have your own friends. I know you're used to freedom. You are used to freedom of them not being in the house, and they are used to freedom of not having to be around you all the time. So you negotiate these things. They're like, look, there's going to be certain summer activities, some of which I already know, maybe you do, and I want you to put them in your calendar. Because they are super important to us. So maybe your niece is getting married. Maybe your nephew is like going through convocation, or, you know, whatever. And there's an expectation that your student will come with you to those events. You need to make those clear upfront as soon as possible, so that you set the expectation that they are coming with you. And you just say, look, I know that it's not very fun, and I know you'd rather be doing other things, but it is an expectation of you living at this house and being part of this family that you're going to come with us. So if there's any events and family stuff, if you're going on vacation, like let's say you're going camping or something, okay? Or you're going to visit family in a different city. There's a couple things that go on here. First of all, if your student is working, it can be hard for them to get that time off, especially if they're only at the job for 4 months. There's often an expectation with that you're not really allowed to request days off. So that might be a challenge. The second part of that is that if you're going away, and they only get a certain number of holiday days, say in that 4 months, do they want to spend it camping with you guys, or do they want to spend some of it camping with their own friends? So that's another conversation to negotiate, how they're spending any time off or days off. If you already know these holiday times for you, then you make it workable and you always keep the invitation open, okay? We'd love to have you there. We know you only get a certain number of days off. If you want to drive out and join us for a couple nights, you're welcome to do that. And then go back. That's totally cool. But don't lay the heavies, okay? Don't play the guilt trip. Don't play the you're breaking my heart. I'm so sad because of you. That is so toxic. Ugh, don't do it. You, like I said, this may be the summer where you need to create some space for your heart to do some grieving and some growing. And that's okay. But none of that is your student's fault. It's not their issue to help you grieve and grow. They are like on a plane taken off, man. Like their life is just beginning and it's exciting. And it's also a time when they're really self-centered. They're totally self-centered. And it's not like a bad, you raised them wrong thing. That's just that's where their brain is at. So blaming or shaming them for being self-centered at this time isn't fair either. All right, so that's all I can say is check your expectations, actually write them down. Like, what do you imagine the summer was going to be like? Because when you do that and you extrapolate out, you'll see some of your expectations, and then you can start to really get clear about them, be honest about them, and perhaps negotiate around some of them. Ask your teenager or your student, what's their expectations of their time at home? What does it look like? Then you get into meals, helping around the house, transportation, time at family events. These are all things that you need to negotiate, and I strongly recommend that you negotiate them up front. Oh, and the finances as well. Whether or not they're paying you rent or not, they're working, what does that look like? It's not going to be perfect. There is no perfect, but to the degree that you can do this kind of thing up front, you will save yourself and your teenager a whole lot of heartache. Right. Aw, thank you so much. Well, you are welcome here anytime. I am going to be going through this very personally in the fall. So most of my IGTVs might just me sitting here crying, missing my teenager. Yeah. And then when he's home at Christmas, we're going to check back here, you and my tribe, my people, and then I'll let you know what's really frustrating. So we'll just do it together, okay? All right, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I will be here again next Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're looking for other places you can catch me live, I am on Clubhouse Clubhouse on Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. in the UK. On Tuesdays, I am on Clubhouse at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, and on Wednesdays, I am on Clubhouse at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Wednesdays, I'm also live on my TikTok channel at usually 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're looking for more help or you want to work with me, if you go to my website, allypayne.com, you can look under the Work With Me menu. I am currently forming parenting small groups for very personalized coaching. You can join me for a month or two or whatever works for you to get really personalized answers. Everyone gets a turn being in the love seat. so that you get exactly what it is that you most need. You can join me in my free parenting community, or I have a private parenting community, and all of those you'll find on my website or on the link in my bio. So I want to thank you so much. I'm glad that was helpful. If you have a topic that you want me to cover, just send me a DM. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll have to postpone it until a time that feels right in my work. But I'm happy to hear from you, and I thank you so much for this suggestion and this talk as well. So have a great weekend, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.